Hello everybody, Quiet Atheist here. This is going to be a response video to Stronger Now 123. Now Stronger Now 123, I'm going to be calling you Strong from now on, just so that way I won't get tripped up and when I am talking to you. Now, you made a big video and there were a lot of things that you had to say in your video, of course. But there were two things that literally lit a fire under my ass, and I wanted to talk about these two things in your video. Now, the first thing you mentioned in your video was the fact that some of us atheists out there are being antagonistic pricks when it comes to religious artifacts being in public schools, or pictures of Jesus being in the classroom, or religious artifacts basically being on the lawns of government buildings, so on and so forth. And I'm naturally going to have to disagree with you on this particular position. And here's why. You see, I don't look at it as being necessarily an antagonistic prick. I look at it as being an atheist or a group of atheists being uncomfortable with what they have to encounter when they go to these buildings. Now, it is against the law to have these religious artifacts in any kind of these public buildings whatsoever. The separation of church and state is clear on this. You know, obviously, like I said earlier, that this is going to create an unsafe situation for atheists, and not only atheists, other people that practice different religions as well. Yet it seems at the moment that they cannot do anything about it because, you know, Christianity is the majority in this country, and they basically think that they could get away with everything. And the reason why I say that is because some Christians out there have it in their mind that this country was founded on Christian principles. And I believe the Treaty of Tripoli, Article 11, disagrees with that. And I suggest all you Christians out there to read up on that. But back to this whole antagonistic thing here, you know. We atheists have a lot of rights, and that's something that you need to be aware of. So when it comes to religion trying to shove their teachings and shove all of their stuff down our throats, naturally we're going to object by it. You know, and naturally it is against the law to have these religious things in the classroom or in public buildings. And I believe it's the atheist's right to complain about it, to call them out on it, take them to court, do whatever they have to do to get these things removed, because it is against the Constitution, excuse me. So I like to go back to the antagonistic prick thing, if you will. And I'm going to have to say that Christians are the antagonistic pricks of this country. And here's why. I made an earlier video about this young girl who wanted to start her own atheist club in the school that she was going to. So she took it upon herself to go to the superintendent, if you will, and asked him if she could start this, atheist club. And naturally, the superintendent is a theist. So obviously, he said no, that she should think about joining the other clubs that were already there. This was something that she obviously disagreed with, so she tried a couple more times. Well, the ACLU got involved, and naturally, the superintendent basically shit his pants. So he did allow her to start a group. But what gets me the most about this whole situation is the fact that despite all of the hard work that she put into this, she eventually backed out of this. And here's why. A bunch of Christians were being antagonistic pricks about the whole situation, because they wouldn't have anything like that in their schools, in the public schools for that matter. They gave her death threats. They threatened her life. They threatened her family. They did all of these unnecessary things just because she wanted to start her own club, just so she can have other people like her to talk to. And I have to ask you a question. Who is the actual antagonistic pricks? I want you to think about that for a minute. Another thing that I want to talk about is this something that I was going to talk about in another video, but I didn't really get a chance to. And it's this whole approach towards theists, if you will. I noticed a couple of other people talk about how you have to have this certain approach, you have to have this certain amount of respect when it comes to having a dialogue with a theist. And I noticed you say this as well a couple of times. And I'm going to have to disagree with you again, and here's why. Every theist that I have seen here on YouTube really doesn't deserve a calm, rational, opposing approach to them. They don't deserve these things because I have seen many of them humiliate other people, make fun of other people, regardless of their, actual positions. They make fun of other people's mental illnesses. They make fun of other people in general. They mock other people. And then when we actually confront them on what they actually do, they want to scream by saying they're being oppressed and they're being demonized and all of this other nonsense. When in all actuality, that is not the case. Now, if a theist approaches me with a calm intent on wanting to have a dialogue, sure, I'm all ears. But if an individual comes at me, right off the block, mocking me and making fun of me or trying to tell me that I'm worthless without God, so this and that, I'm going to dismiss them about as much as I dismiss any other Christian who fails to respect other people. And that's why I disagree with you on that. If a theist comes at you with respect, sure, they could get some back. But if they are going to come at you like a rampaging dirtbag, well, they're going to get the same treatment back. And like I said, there are a lot of theists here on YouTube that do not deserve this. There are a lot of theists in this country that do not deserve this. And what I mean by deserve this, I mean a calm, rational approach. They do not deserve it, period. And that's what I have, to say to you about this. There's two things that I disagree with you on. Now, I will place that one video that I was talking about the previous video. I talked about that girl wanting to start a club in the description down below. So you can maybe watch that in its entirety if you choose to. And to my subscribers, a link to strongernow123's video will be provided in the description as well, and a link to her channel. If her material is to your liking, please subscribe to her. She's a very interesting individual. There was just a couple of things in her video that I disagreed with, and I wanted to express these disagreements as quick as possible. But like I said, if her material is to your liking, please subscribe to her. She's very intelligent and she has a lot of things to say, and maybe you might find her stuff interesting. Please feel free to leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Feel free to share my video with anyone that might be interested, whether it be on Facebook, Tumblr, Google+, or wherever you guys hang out. Till next time, the Quiet Atheist is out. And remember, if you can't be good at it. Most of all, thank you for watching.